M0FXB, welcome to my channel. So you've got your RT3S dual band VHF, UHF, DMR radio, and you've turned it on and nothing is appearing within the menu, and you want to make sure you can access all functions within that menu. If you look at my Retevis, you can go menu. When you go down, there's everything's there that you would like to program. If you go to utilities, confirm, you've got radio settings, radio info, and program radio. That might be missing on yours. Go confirm, and then it receive frequency, transmit frequency, channel name, timeout, tone, add channel, color code, time slot. It's all there, so that could be missing from your radio. So the next thing to do is to grab the radio and plug in the cable that is supplied in the box. And the cable has 2 pins and the other end goes into your computer, and you are going to need to install the driver on your computer. And you do get a programming lead with the radio, which looks like this, and it has 2 pins. And you do need to get that in the radio because we're going to program the radio to allow you to program it properly and have all the functions. So I've just plugged that in here to see if you can have a look. It just pushes in the side there. It's a 2-pin plug. If I pull it out, 2 pins, the larger pin at the bottom, push it in firmly. It does need to go in firmly, and then put the other end in your PC like so. You'll probably hear a sound come from your PC, and then let's move to the computer. We'll show you how to install the driver required. At the PC, we'll right click the device manager, and we've got the cable connected. Device manager here, double click ports. It won't be there, but double click universal serial bus at the bottom, and this is where you want it to say STM device in DFU mode. Now if you're not seeing that, if you're seeing an error and you need the driver and also we need the programming software, we will go to this page and the link will be in the description by Retevis. We'll go to support, and here we've got firmware. On the left here it says firmware. Just click firmware, and we've got everything we need here. Now I've got the GPS model, so we'll click RT3S GPS model, but you've got the model without GPS, which is here, but this is my one. We'll click that, and then it will just give you a zip file which you'll run. I'll just click it. I've already downloaded it already, but you'll run it like so. Within there, see the RT3S GPS, just double click it, and they even give you a basic code plug as well, and you would extract that somewhere. So create a file, extract. I've created a file called, what have I called it, MD380 I think I've called it. It is there. There it is there. Click OK, and it will put everything in there that you need. So the next thing is the USB driver. That's important because if yours isn't showing up, you're going to need this, and I would run this straight away. So double click, and I've got the 64 system on my Windows PC, so double click that, and then I won't do it again, but run it through, and then that will install the driver, and possibly worth restarting your PC. So once you've got the software, we know we've got the cable connected, you will have an icon that looks like this small Retevis square here. See if I can show it on my desktop. This square here says Retevis. I know I've got so much stuff here. Retevis GPS. That's what it will look like. The way I got rid of the whole screen was I clicked at the bottom right here on the screen. See that? Very far right. It's just a small line there. Click it, and it hides the screen and brings everything back. So anyway, we've got the software. So now we're going to double click our Retevis CPS, and hit. This is the window you'll get. Now what we need to do is enable that we can view everything. So firstly, go to basic information. That will show you the radio you've got, and we can quickly read from our radio. So go program, read data, So we go program, read, and we're going to read the radio for the first time. And if you're all connected correctly, your radio will say PC program USB mode, and it will read. And now it's going to populate this basic information window, and you'll get the model name, serial number, and the CPS software you're using, hardware version, etc., and even the frequencies there that it's programmed to do. So then go to general settings. This one's quite important. You need your call sign, ham radio call sign, to use the DMR part of this radio. I think you're going to need your ham radio call sign to use most of what this radio does. Let's have a look here. Monitor type. We don't need that at the moment. DMR number. There's my DMR number, 234 and 437. That's essential. You can apply for that. Just Google DMR number application and just fill that out with your ham call sign. Everything else I have enabled here. It says edit radio ID. That's quite important. It means you can add your DMR number on the radio without having to go to the programming software. Group call match, private call match. If you untick these, it makes the radio promiscuous. It allows all talk groups to come through, which we can put. I'll untick for now. You've got your time zone there if you want to set that. I think at the moment in the UK, I think pretty sure we're +1, but it might not be. Backlight, I would set that to always. Set keypad lock times. I don't use that. Frequency or channel mode, so displaying the channel name or the frequency. I haven't changed these. Save mode, receive, save preamble. What's that? Talk tones, talk permit tones, call alert tone. Haven't really changed that. The main thing is that you want to be able to go accessing everything you can. So double click the next one, menu items. And I pretty much just ticked all of these except for the one that says radio disable. So that way we know that when we actually look at the radio, we're going to see everything we need. Now here's buttons. No buttons have been assigned. You've got side buttons for short press and long press. So let's do a side button. So there's one button above the PTT and one below. So let's go the one above and let's assign that to, so have a look now. What's going to be convenient? Is it zone? Let's do zone. Zone up. And the one at the underneath, let's do zone. Let's have a look. Zone battery. We could assign one to power. Battery indicator. Let's do it. So you choose whatever works better for you. You know, when you're using the radio, what's going to be convenient for you? Trying to think what functions here are convenient. Power select, there's one. Maybe if one was on VFO mode, that would be good. Zone, record, write, switch up, down key. Yeah, privacy, Vox, zone, one touch access. That's separate video, that is, to learn that. Yeah, so not very many usable functions there, are there? Just going to select that. Then we've got digital mode here, one touch access. I think that's where you can actually tell each key what to do more specifically, but we'll do that separate. I've only just got this radio, so once you've got all that, then let's just create a channel. So we'll go to channel information. We'll right click and click add. So where it says add, see it says channel 1 here, we'll double click that. This is a channel, so we'll just do GB3WR for now. So we'll put the channel name in here, GB3WR. And the frequency is 145.600. Put an extra naught in. And you have to put in the receive because they don't have shifts in these radios. So you go 145.1234. 5 noughts. Let's put in the timeout, so how long you can speak before it tells you to stop speaking. And it's an analog radio. We need to set our tone, which is just transmit tone, which is N code, which is here. 94.8. And then our power level, let's find that. TX power. Just here, because we're out and about when we use a repeater, I'll leave that on high. If it was a hotspot, I'd leave it low. And that's one channel added. So the channel's in there, but we need to put it into a zone so we can find it. A zone is like a group or a file full of channels. It's easier for you to find it. If you name the zones, that makes it easier as well. So we double click that zone. We're going to name this one, because we're going to name it hotspots, and then we'll do another one and call it repeaters. Hotspots. That's that one name. You'll see the name will change here. We've got HubNet programmed. There's the name there, underneath the word zone information. Double click the zone 2, and we'll call it repeaters. Like so. Close that. And then we can actually put the channel we want into that. Let's close the menu items. Double click the hotspots repeater, and we'll put my hotspot into it by selecting. If it's in this side, you can send it across into the channel, and then you've got the A band and the B band. So this is hotspots, and at the moment we've got in there, we've got hotspot and we've got HubNet, which is an all-star node that I use. There's GB3WR that we've just made, but we're not going to put that in hotspots because that isn't a hotspot. So we'll close that window. We'll double click where it says repeaters here, just here underneath zone. Double click repeaters, and we remember we created GB3WR. Can you see that there on the left? And we get it twice because it's a dual band radio, and we can put it in the A band, the top part of the radio, or B band, the bottom part of the radio. So let's just click to put it in the top and the bottom for now. Click, and then select it. It highlights blue, and then send it across. So you've now put that into your channel. So let's add another channel. Let's have a look what we've got so far. Channel information here. We've got our hotspot, which I already did earlier. So that is the frequency of my hotspot, digital. And we've got the timeout. We'll change that higher as well, at least 180. Power low because it's at home. Hotspot, and then with a hotspot you do need to select a contact. A contact is the talk group you want to connect to. So this one says WW. So actually each contact has a number. So how do you create a contact? Go up here where it says digital contact. See the little green man? If you can't see it, click on the files to the left, but it should be fine. So double click digital contact, and we've only created 2. A very good one to create is number 9. So what you do is double click it and type the word. Now the name actually isn't as important as the number. You've got to look at DMR like it's lots of phone numbers, and you're using them to communicate with each other. So your phone number is your DMR number. The talk group number is their phone number. If it's a private call number, then it'll be the DMR number of the person you're going to speak to, but it's still called a contact. But some are private and some are group. So if it's person to person, it'll be called private. If it's group, it'll be called group. That one's called group. If you select the drop down, you get group or private. So group call for number 9. Number 9 is handy because it just allows you to control your hotspot or repeater. It doesn't actually link you to a talk group. It links you to your hotspot repeater. They link you to your talk group. Now, if you create a new one, so we'll click add here at the bottom, just here. And if we create one called chat. Now, chat is known as room number 2350. 2350. So 2350, 2351 are quite popular ones. And chat 1, double click, just going down the list. Chat 1 group call is 2351. So they're quite good ones to do. Another one would be 4000 because that's disconnect. So you will call that one disconnect. And then group, and that one you can use that one private because it's a command, and you can put in 4000. And then lastly, we'll put one in called parrot, which is just repeating your audio back to you. So it does use a talk group, but a talk group replies to you with your own voice. So that one's 9990 parrot, and we'll do that one private as well. So you've created some contacts, and the reason we've done that is so that when we create a channel, when we go here on the right hand side, we can choose a contact, and we've called that hotspot, and I'll call it 91 for talk group 91, and that's called worldwide, so that's fine. We've done that. Now we want to put that in our zone as well, but let's create one more channel. So go back to channel list, right click, add. Then you get the blank channel at the bottom, double click. We're going to call it, now we could have copied and pasted, so we go copy. So click the hotspot one, a channel you've already made, right click it, copy. Go down to the one you want to change, right click and paste. And that way most of the stuff's there, you just have to change the contact number. So we're going to do the, let's have a look now, the chat one. And then just so you can find it, call it chat. So that will remind you that it's actually 2350. Everything else should be set for you already. And we can do that again. So we'll go right click, copy. First of all, let's add one. Then we'll paste. So we'll have to right click, copy, click the channel we're doing, paste. And then we're going to call that one, we'll call that one parrot, I think. So PA parrot. Okay. And I'll put a H there to remind me that it's my hotspot. And then here we need to select parrot. See that? Now you can have a group list. This group list, if you put everything into a group list, it means you'll hear those channels if you select that group list, you will hear those channels. So color code is 1 and repeater slot is 2 we're using, but it makes sense if you're using a command like disconnect or parrot to actually use slot 1. So it means you can do those things even when someone's talking. So repeater slot, so that's not there, that is a command, so we'll put that as slot 1. Now we need to go to back to our zones and put them in our zones. So double click, we're going to decide, most of them were hotspots, so the ones we created are here on the left. So in hotspots we want to add chat and parrot. I'll do it on both sides, on A and B band. So you get the idea of creating digital and analog channels. If it's a repeater, you just change the frequencies here and maybe the tone that you use. If you're analog repeater, the tone will be different. Then we can go program and write data to radio. Click OK. Of course you need to be connected. So I'll put the links in the description for everything that you need. We'll send this across and it will complete, and then we'll have a little look at using the radio. So back at the radio, we've sent the code plug to the radio. Now we're just going to select what we need. Now it's already selected it. We'll just show you how. We'll just go menu, go down to zone, and then zone list. And the first one we want is hotspots. We'll select that. Okay, then we'll go down. Just so you know, the D means digital. If you go down, it's gone to A. That's because that selection is an analog selection. And the other thing is, while it's down, if you hold down the red button, it can mute the A band or the top band, so you only hear the bottom band, which is useful sometimes. And then hold it again. Sorry, the button's a bit stiff. And then I'll just show you how we selected the B band. So look, we've moved it down to the bottom selection. We'll go menu, zone, zone list, and then we go down to the repeater list, and we can select repeaters. And when you're in that function. Look, you can turn the key and anything you put in that zone will be there. And it's and see the green, that means we're receiving something. It's very weak. But we're receiving a very weak station there on GBT. The green, the A for analog goes green to say it's receiving something. You've got your LED as well, that's green. So we go to the A band. That's digital. We'll plug in my digital hotspot now and you'll see that come to life. So the digital hotspot is here on the left, and this is quite a nice one. This one has a colour screen, but really it's what they call an MMDVM hat. It's like a mini radio that's sending a 70 centimetre or 2 metre signal to your DMR radio, but this box is connected to the internet and connected to the DMR systems, and there are many systems, but the one I'm using is called Brandmeister. So if we turn up the volume, we now should hear, when someone talks, a DMR station come through the radio on the A band. Because we haven't muted the B band, we could hear the other station as well. So if I hold down the red, that mutes the B band. No one talking at the moment. Now we'll just turn it to
1, 2.
See if we can find the parrot test. So we just turn the middle knob until we got to parrot, and we're going to key. Look at the hotspot. It should change to 990. M0 FXB test. M0 FXB test. All right, let's try that again. So we'll go. It says 9990 here. M0 FXB test. No one can hear us except for us. It says 9990 here. M0 FXB test. No. There you go. And if we select disconnect,
3, 4,
which is number 4.
5.
No, number 5. It will disconnect us. And again, no one can hear us doing this, but the hotspot's doing all the work, or it could be a repeater. So just key it, and that should disconnect us. Yeah, it will say not linked when you've done that. So that's the basics of getting you up and running. So hope you find this helpful, and just have a little play. Bye for now. 7-3.